Namaste, my beautiful queens, kings of any. This will be the next lesson. In major arcanas, we will be looking at arcana number 6, the arcana of lovers. And in this video, I will give you general meaning of these cards, and this card in love, relationship, career, profession, health, I will give you in my Patreon account. So if you want to watch the explanation how I explain it, love, relationship, you can click the link I'm gonna give you. So lovers, the 6 arcana, easy looking, a very easy looking arcana, but not easy at all in description. Why I am showing you the golden wheel card here, because it shows very clearly what this card is all about, and this card is about choices. This young man stands between two women. This is his mother and this is his fiancée, and he has to make a choice. If he chooses to walk away with his fiancée, then his mother probably is not never gonna want to see him again. Or if he chooses the mother, then he would have to refuse from the fiancé. So the meaning of this card always connected with the choice, and such a choice in which you would have to probably completely refuse from what you choose in between. That's why it's a very tough choice. So lovers, of course, obviously connected with number 6. It's a 6 arcana, and with number 17 astrologically, this is Gemini and Libra, and opposition of Gemini and Libra, also connected with Sagittarius. The occultic meaning of this card is their test. It's a test of life, it's a test of destiny, it's a test, it's a choice, it's a quest. Never easy arcana to determine, because somehow people used to judge this arcana just by its looks. It's just a man and woman looking into each other's eyes in Arcanum Tarot. In classical, of course, meaning of Marcel Tarot school, it is a card which is obviously connected with deep, strong emotion, connected with obviously love and relationship. But again and again, 3 words you have to remember what comes to card of lover: choice, test, and quest. Always the card which is connected with choices and tests and quests. Whatever situation you're looking into this this card in connection with. So of course, such choice, whether it is career or anything else, means the choice will lead to usually absolute changes of life. For example, as we're saying here, a man leaves or a woman leaves a house she grew up with, at the house she grew up at, and she moves in with her beloved man, or if it's a man, then with a woman, and then the new stage of life begins. So no turning back. That's why the choice which this card brings usually is so complicated and tough, because usually if you make that choice, there is no turning back, and that choice is connected with refusing from something. Of course, that choice you make Is it possible to refuse from making that choice? Of course, this card of Lovers very often shows you a situation in which a person refused from making that choice, so stayed in his old. It's another choice. Refusing from a choice is also a choice, but making the choice which this card brings, you see, opens up such a huge transformational powers and information field, which is very hard to underestimate. Of course, this choice very often, most of the time, is connected, as we already know, with love and relationship. But again, that choice is a test, that choice is a quest, and you have to be very brave to make such a choice. Another thing, why when you're looking at the person as a male, the choice which has to be made, according to the Lover's card, has to be made relying on heart. And so little men do rely on heart, do rely on emotions and feelings, but rely on mind and logic. And this card, fortunately or unfortunately, this card is not about logic at all. This is a very powerful card, which is of course connected with karma always. If this card shows up, karma shows up in such a reading. Another metaphor I can give you of this card is intersection. When you are having two passes, one goes to the left or one to the right, or four passes, but usually it's two. So you are standing in the middle. One path goes to the left, one goes to the right. You have to make a choice, and you would have to be dealing with consequences with that choice is going to bring you. So you have to be responsible. Can you choose not to go neither to the left nor to the right, but to stay in the middle? You can, but usually that's not a case. You have to choose to the left or to the right. Responsibility, of course, has to be taken on, and this is not the usually this is such a destiny karmic situation in which you can't avoid make the choice. For example, you are married. You've been married for 12 years. You have two children. Your marriage is pretty much like living with a roommate. You already are used to it. You do your everyday things. You do your everyday routine, and then you start another job. You meet a man at your new workplace, which you fall in love with, who is a karmic partner of yours, and he falls in love with you, and he tells you, be with me. Be with me. I want to be with you. I will love your children. I will love you. Let's, get away to the place of my childhood. There is a house there. Let's live together. So this woman now has a choice. She can choose to trust and believe the man she fell in love with and follow him, but this way she would have to completely leave the old life and completely leave everything she got used to, or she stays in her lifeless marriage, but at the same time, this is something she knows what she has. It's stable. It doesn't have feelings, emotions, intimacy, or understanding, but it's something she knows. It's familiar. It's stable. Here is her school for her kids. Here is her grocery store. and so she can refuse from that true love of hers in order to keep her stability. So but she has to make that choice. Either she stays in with old life or she chooses the new life. But you see, she stays with old life, she loses probably the chance of a lifetime to really live emotionally fulfilling life. But at the same time, if she goes for it, there is a risk how the things are going to be there. She's going to lose her stability. So you see, what lovers brings is a very tough choice. So the meaning of the general meaning, of course, I already told you of what it is, and I already told you that usually this is a card, of course, connected with love and relationship. But again, if it's about work, if it's about any situation, test. Who likes tests? No one likes tests, right? And this is a test. It's a test of life. It's a test of destiny. It's a test of your spiritual power. It's a test. And it's a choice. It's a test of it, a choice. It's hard to go through tests. It's hard to make choices when you just don't know what to do. So what choice can be? Between the past and the future. Between the old you are used to already and something completely new. But this is a card which always shows that inside of you it's going to be some kind of a war. War between heart and mind, between feelings, emotions, and fears of changing anything. Sometimes it even feels that you can't decide. It's like, I can't decide what to do. I simply can't. When today seems like you've decided to say, tomorrow you don't know anymore, and tomorrow you're not sure. So of course, this is why this is a very tough, very complicated card. The choice, the test, the quest. And also, of course, not just the choice, the test and the quest, but the choice which might influence your entire life or years of your life. Of course, it's better to clarify this card and see how this card is near other cards. Of course, if you see this card and next to it you see a very negative warning as 3 of Swords or 10 of Swords, of course, it clearly shows you, don't do this. If you're asking, should I travel in the months of January of 2021, for example, or 22 or whatever, and you see this card, and next to this card you see the reverse Chariot, of course, obviously it tells you don't make this choice, because this choice is going to lead you to a disaster. Should I buy this house? You see this card, see what card is going to be next to it, or what cards are going to be next to it, so it will tell you whether your choice going to be good or bad. So you need to clarify this card. Interesting thing that of course, what comes to love relationship, of course, you always look at the whole spread, or again at the card next to it. Sometimes this card can show you a person who had already made the choice. Sometimes it depends on a spread, but usually this is the choice which someone is trying to make right now, or needs to be making in the future. What you must remember if you see lovers, that if someone tries to press you into choosing something, this is a huge sign that you shouldn't be choosing it. You have to choose yourself. You have to decide whether you want it or not, whether you need it or not. If you are doing the spread for someone or for yourself, what is expecting me in my love life within 6 months, for example, and you see a lovers, of course, this card can show you obviously appearing in your life or in the life of your client, someone connected with a romantic relationship. I have already said that this card is, of course, connected with karmic partners. Always lovers always show you karmic partners. Of course, if you see devil next to this card, obviously it's gonna be a dark karma, which is much better if you simply avoid it, because if your guides and your spirits show you the warning in the cards, it means that you have a choice to get away and you do not have to go through this karma, because you have done something so wonderful and kind in already this incarnation, in this life, that you no longer have to suffer and give payment back to this man. So if in this spread, in the reading, your guides and keepers show you, be careful, don't get there, you better listen, become careful and don't get there, because here you're being given a choice. You can go through the suffering and get yourself destroyed into the point of ash and rise from ash as a phoenix, or you don't have to go through that. But of course, if you see these cards with very positive cards next to it, with 2 of Cups, with 4 of Wands, with 10 of Pentacles, of course, with Ace of Cups, then of course this is love, which is the gift of keepers and guides. Of course, this is someone who is very good choice for you. Of course, the lovers together with positive cards asked as an answer to a question about love, tell you about new romance in life, tell you about new happy relationship. If we see positive cards there, new happy relationship in your life. It's also shows you, the cards next to it will show you if that person as well loves you back, what kind of outcome you can expect from this card. Of course, positive cards obviously will show you that this is a wonderful perspective for the future. Negative cards, of course, will show you that their perspectives with this man is not that good. Also, lovers show you the situation in general situation. Not connected with love and relationship, in general situation, this card can show you that you are under influence of people. So what you think of yourself and how you consider yourself depends on what other people talking about you. So of course it's a sign for you to work at your self-esteem. The thing is that, of course, this is this is the card which asks lots of questions, more asks questions than than answers questions. But again, I'm repeating myself, you need to see what cards. This is one of those cards like Hierophant. You need to see what is next to them. That is going to give you the answer to your question. But of course, the golden wheel shows you here that this card always means a very serious choice. If you see this card in reversed position, it could be so many things. But the very obvious meaning of the reversed lovers can be the unrequested love. You love somebody, but that somebody is a cold-hearted narc, and loving him would be much more dangerous than loving the concrete pole, you know, or a rock on the bank of a river, because the rock on the bank of a river will not hurt you, humiliate you, use you, devalue you, and bring you to the level of dirt. The rock is not going to do it, but the narc can do it big time. The manipulator, narcissist, or a psychopath, or all three of them, those which I warned you so much about in many of my videos. So of course, lovers can show love which is unfortunately not, which is hopeless. If you see this card for the perspective with this man, whoever this man means, your co-worker, your lover, or you know, the guy living next door, and you like the guy, you talk to him couple times and you asking what's my perspective with this guy, you see the reversed lovers, it means just don't even waste 1 second of your time. It's not going anywhere. Interesting thing that also this is when people not matching each other in intimacy, what it means. For example, you are gentle, sensual woman, and this guy, for example, is something like Christian Grey in this ridiculous nonsense 50 Shades of Grey. So you know, he likes to spank you and nail you to the wall, and you like him to be gentle and tender, and this, you just don't match each other in this area. But usually, if you see that one, you have to understand that there is something in this person which is completely opposite what you consider good, consider nice, or consider normal. Sometimes this can be interesting. This card can have very interesting meaning, because I saw it, but it's not very often you can see it in such meaning, but you can. Those two people worked in a hospital. Both of them were doctors. Both of them were married. Both of them for 12 years were loving each other, never, ever, ever, ever crossed the lines. He knew she loved him. Their spouses knew about their love to each other, but both of the spouses would not want to let them go. Unfortunately, that's a sad thing. And both of the spouses knew very clearly that neither her nor him are going to cross the line. So they were talking together, working together, looking at each other together, but never crossing that line. But they knew they loved each other. So the reversed lovers can show this platonic union of their true soulmates, but the true union, which unfortunately kept being platonic in spite of the love to each other, because they both were people of high moral standards, of a higher moral, and none of them would cross the line, and that was reversed lovers like that. But they felt each other, they telepathically communicated, but was such love. Very sad, because both of them stayed faithful to their spouses, and none of the spouses would be willing to say, you know what, go and be with her. So of course, if you see again the reversed card of lovers, if you see it in next to negative cards, then you can be dealing with someone who is playing with you, someone who is using you, someone who is manipulated you. So of course, you have to be careful when you see reversed lovers together with negative cards. So you have to be careful. Also, this is a card in general readings, talks about wrong choice, whether it's about profession, or should I buy this house, or should I buy this car, or should I take this job, and you see reversed Lovers, it means that's a wrong choice. Please don't do this. Please don't do this. Please don't do this, like that. So don't do it if you see the reversed card. Also the pull, when you feel the pull, the physical pull in you see this like it's reversed. Lovers could be mirroring arcana of the devil. If you see reversed lovers but next to very good minor arcanas, it can say that the difficulties are temporarily. For example, you argued with your husband or with your boyfriend, you yelled at each other, you are taking cards, or a client of yours asks you to do that, and you see reversed lovers, means that there was an argument, but next to it you see Three of Cups and or Ace of Cups, or Two of Cups. Then you can say, that they will, the conflict is going to be gone and the peace is going to be back. Reverse cards, of course, obviously talks about possessiveness, of jealousy, and also one of the card of infidelity. If your spread is about infidelity, you're seeing if someone being dishonest, someone is cheating, and you see this card with one of the queens. If you're looking at a woman, at a man, so you get your wife, you get a woman who wants to know if her husband is cheating, you get this card next to a queen, or next to a high priestess, or next to Seven of Swords, or just by itself, then of course you would be dealing with a cheater. Disappointment in love, also you can ask why my husband turned suddenly cold, and you can get this card again. Look at the card nearby. Could be someone is disappointed in love and in relationship. So again, if you are looking at the perspective with this man, or perspective of this question, you see this card in relationship. The reverse card talk about absolutely zero hopes of this situation to be resolved. It's like you just leave it and forget about it. If it's about engagement, it's gonna be broken. If it's about marriage, it's not gonna happen. If it's about keeping a marriage and someone wants to divorce, for example, a man wants to divorce a woman, and a woman comes to you and says, is there a hope to make it work? You get reversed lovers, then unfortunately it's gonna be not. But usually it's a woman who files for divorce. Man usually just plays around and comes back home. Not a positive card when it's in reversed position. It is also the card of loners, even the stronger card than Hangman, or the card of the Hermit. So pretty much if you ask my perspective of finding someone within next 3 months, you get the reversed lovers. It means that perspective is not there. But if you are asking, what is the reason of me being alone? What is the reason of me not being able to find myself the right man? You get the reversed lovers. It means you don't have self-love, whatever I'm screaming about every day. Self-love, self-acceptance, self-value. It means that you are risking to get yourself the wrong partner, and the higher forces keep you from getting that wrong partner. They kind of guard you from heartbreak. So of course, again, in upright position, choice, test, quest, and Also, you need to take into consideration the cards nearby. Yes, another thing about reversed, also if you see, for example, what's the result of this contract being signed, and you see it's a complete disaster. Also, plans which are not put together enough to get to realize them into reality. And of course, bad choice. Of course, it's the be careful also. Sometimes this is the you're dealing with someone irresponsible. If you're asking, can I trust this person, for example, and you get that, obviously you can't. So this is so far the first part of this card in general reading. As you can see, pretty complicated card. In a second part, which I will have on my Patreon, I will explain this card in love, relationship, career, finances, and health, questions connected with health. This is all, my beautiful queens. I hope it was helpful. Namaste.